have anything that is particular for its effect. It's widespread. So once again, it's a hormone that will go all over the body. That gland is really interesting. Do you guys remember the term colloid and what that means? A colloid is, all right, when you're in other earlier parts of the study, for example, 141, okay, going back to understand a mixture and what is the dissolvent and that sort of thing. When it is a colloid, it's almost like it's a gel-like substance, and the materials keep their properties. So in this gland, you're going to see that it's going to have follicles. The follicles are going to have cells, and then we've got this colloid, this gel-like substance that are inside of them. These follicles have that protein-rich colloid. Our follicles are lined by follicular cells. Is everybody following me? Okay. That follicular cell secretes my thyroid hormone. Ever heard of T3 or T4? Ever had your doctor do some blood work and come back with T3, T4 levels? They were measuring your thyroid hormone that's available in the blood. The names for them: tetraiodothyronine, because tetra means 4. Therefore, it would have 4 of those molecules. Triiodo, 3. Therefore, giving it the T3 and the T4. The majority of it is T4. The rest of it, T3, but T3 is the most potent. So the body, in some cases, has to figure out how to make the T4 T3.
Is it just iodine? I mean, like the formation of iodine? It's like I4 or I3?
The iodine's important because of it helping the function of the molecule. Because, think about this, if iodine isn't present in our diet, what happens? What do we form in the body? It used to be very prominent here in the U.S. It's still pretty prominent in other countries. A goiter. And guess what a goiter is?
Well, enlarged thyroid.
Enlarged thyroid gland. So if the iodine is not present, it can't function correctly.
What happens when someone gets their thyroid removed?
They just are, they're placed on thyroid medication and they have to stay on it for the rest of their lives. It used to be that that removal of the thyroid gland was very common until people kept dying from it. Okay? People kept dying from the removal of the thyroid gland because embedded on the posterior side are my parathyroid glands. And because of what the parathyroid glands do, a lot of times it was very difficult to identify them when people would have the thyroid gland removed. So they would get removed also. And there was nothing you could do to save them. They just had to die because it affects the calcium levels in the blood. And removing them, you couldn't do anything. Even now what they mostly do for the thyroid gland, they radiate it. So it doesn't have to be removed anymore. So they radiate the thyroid gland and put the person on the medication for the rest of their lives.
So what if they don't take their medication like they're supposed to?
There is not going to be any production of thyroid hormone. And because of what the thyroid hormone does, which is affecting metabolism, meaning it's going to make sure cells of the body operate correctly, I would imagine many different types of issues are going to take place, and probably up to and including death. I mean, I would have to do some research on that, but if the cell is not doing proper metabolism, then that cell is not going to be functioning correctly. And thyroid hormone is going to be a major player because the primary job, metabolism. This is the reason that people who might have hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, hyper means too much. So too much of the hormone is getting into the blood, affecting the cells, which means they tend to be sweaty, heart racing, skinny, don't sleep, that sort of thing. Hypo, not enough. They tend to be very cold. They tend to retain weight no matter what. Their heart rate is slow. Blood pressure is slow. So there's a huge range of effects from the thyroid hormone, which is needed because one of the things about it, it has what's called the calorigenic effect. Calories, all right, based upon energy, because that's what calories do, okay? They measure the energy. We associate it with food, but it's more than just food, all right? And in our bodies, one thing it's going to help do is oxygen levels. Once again, what is the only thing in our body that oxygen is used for? There's only one thing that our bodies use oxygen for. Only one. We have to have it. We get put in an oxygen-free environment, we're going to die.
Transferring cells throughout the blood.
Make ATP. Carry out cellular respiration. That is the only thing. Without the ATP, the cell can't work, cell dies, we die. That's it. We don't use oxygen for anything else. Take a break, be back at 9:30.
Yeah.